Okay. All right. If we Okay.
About sensitivity.
Okay. So tell a little story at the beginning.
So nobody talks about Shlomo's sensitivity. They talk about scholarship, his music, his creativity. But more than anything, he was one of the most sensitive people to other people's pain. He's on a story that gives an example of this. I knew almost nothing about Yiddishkeit. I think it was 76, 77, one of those years. And I was at Shlomo Shul. And this girl, so in the middle of Shlomo's down, it's one of those two. Shlomo gets up off the bima and walks out of the shul. He goes to this guy, stop in Mexico, take over the davening. Crazy. I guess whether it was Rosh Hashanah, like crazy to leave the bima with somebody else. So everybody else continues the davening, but I know nothing about this stuff. So I follow Shlomo out, maybe 20 yards behind him. It's out in front of the shul on 79th Street. I know those of you know Shlomo, we had a pose where he put his thumbs in his belt and tilted his head and looked to the heavens. Okay. Within 2 minutes, is out to the Shlomo goes up and gives her a hug. So this is pretty mind-blowing for Shlomo, and whether it was Yom Kippur or Rosh Hashanah, I don't really remember in front of the shul. And then he walks the girl into the shul, and he goes back to the bima and takes over again. So I guess it was Rosh Hashanah because it was a break. I went up to this girl whose name was
Karen.
That's a good name. And I said, "Do you know Shlomo?" He said, "I never saw him. I didn't even know who he is." I said, "What happened outside?" She said, "I hadn't been into a synagogue for 10 years. I decided to see if I was really Jewish." So she went into a synagogue. You know what it is to go on Rosh Hashanah or Yom Kippur. I assume it was Rosh Hashanah, I would say, without a ticket. To a synagogue on the Upper West Side. She said, treated me miserably. I left. So I said, I figured I went into the wrong shul. So she said she went into a second shul, and they were even worse. So she was going home crying. I'll never go to another synagogue. Shlomo gave her a hug and said, "Come into my synagogue." The sensitive.
Thank you. And not only, also Ruach HaKodesh that had it. God set it up that Shlomo knew that it was happening, and he went out exactly at the right moment.
And I was in New York for the next few months, and she came every Shabbos.
Wow. So I just want Thank you. That Shlomo tells this story. I've told it a million times. I'll tell you that before we come down to this world from heaven, all our souls up in heaven, all our souls are up in heaven, and before we come down, we have to meet every single neshama that we're going to meet in our life before we come down. That's thousands and thousands and thousands of people from the minute we're born until we leave. That's a lot of neshamas to meet. But in heaven, time is different. Time is different in heaven. Tell you, this place is come. Time is totally different up in heaven. And so you meet everybody, and then you come down. And so what we're doing right now in this lifetime is that we're just meeting everybody that we already met. We're just because we already met each other. And the most beautiful thing is that Shlomo always says, the baby is crying. And why is the baby? And I never in my life saw this in a sefer, but maybe somebody already did, or maybe we will. It says the reason why the baby's crying because it just said goodbye to the neshama that it loves the most up in heaven. And then it comes to this world, so it's crying because I don't know when I'm going to see that neshama again. So if anybody ever sees that in a sefer, let me know. I'll tell you also, because Shlomo said crazy things, and then sometimes we really see them in Sfarim. He said one time, Aaron left the world, Aaron HaKohen leaves the world, Ananei HaKavod, like Ananei HaKavod kind of disappears. But everybody knows that if you love each other very, very much, then you can create Ananei HaKavod. And then Shlomo says, when it's really, really cold, and just the way people are breathing, it's so cold, you could see Ananei HaKavod of people love each other very much. But if they don't love each other so much, then there's really no Ananei HaKavod. It's like separate. So what kind of crazy Torah is that? You have to go to Siberia to say Ananei HaKavod if you love. And then we saw it in a sefer. I think it was the Rishna. And Imamish says that if you go to Siberia, you can see the Ananei HaKavod. And Shlomo didn't make it up. He didn't make it up. It's really there. And wow. Okay. So that's the Torah that I love the most, that we meet each other up in heaven. And then another Torah that I love the most is that there's a special watch. So forgive me if you've heard this also. A special watch. And this watch, it's an unbelievable watch. You know, this watch is the time, 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock. We started on time. You really, I don't know how this morning, but so there's clocks and watches that tell you everything on time. But this special watch that tells you at a certain time, at a certain place, with a certain person. Oh man, how are you ever going to do that? How are you ever going to do that? So this special watch or clock or whatever, alarm clock, it rings. It's the right place with the right person at the right time. It rings. But nobody has this watch. We've been looking for it for a long time. It's like wild. I learned this reading this, and I said, this is the most wild Torah I've ever seen in my life. Because where do we get this watch? It's God's watch. And that's the reason why we're in this world, because every single person has things every single day of lives at a certain place, with a certain, and if you don't do it, oh no, Shlomo said you might have to come back. But if you missed it at work, you might have to come. So I didn't see it on the inside. Also, if anybody ever sees that, and no, because we'll put footnotes. Okay. I always forget to remind anybody and everybody, if anybody has parents, grandparents, because young crowd, you know, who have still Shlomo cassette tapes from the million years ago. So pass them on to us, because my shmali, he can't write his Sefer Torah without listening to Shlomo and putting it in the computer. And he's been doing it for 15, 20 years, and he's never tape, he always returns them. And then if you give him these little, they're really cheap in America, maybe more expensive here, but they material on them, so you really get a lot of stuff. So if anybody ever finds or hears where there's, because he's running low, and whenever he calls, you better put out that I need more tapes, because how is he going to write? So okay, so just I remember to do that, and now I'll even remember. Yeah.
I want to say that I'm sorry to throw it again, but when Emuna reads me the tapes that she types, and it blows my mind. It seems every time he talks, something we didn't realize what he, but when you hear what he says, it's unbelievable. I'm sorry.
No, that's great. That's great. I'll tell you that I tell everybody this story too. That Shlomo would come to our house, and it took me all day to clean the house. If anybody knows how my house was, lived with us one time, I give out. Chaos. I didn't wear my glasses, only on before. I did wear them before to clean the house. But it was chaos. One time, David Hertzberg, Zichron Levrachi, Mamish came into my house Erev Pesach, and he saw the kitchen floor, and he said, Emuna, I didn't even know you had a kitchen floor, because there was like so many kids and clutter and everything. And so I'd have to clean the house so people could get in and out. And then I have to make sure that all the children looked a little presentable, you know. And I always baked a cake. I had to bake a cake. So by the time he'd come, it would be after doing a million other things. He'd come late. And then he would have to bless every person before he really came into the second room. And then everybody would sit on the floor on pillows, and he'd start singing. And I'd fall asleep. Thank God I didn't snore. But I mamish fell asleep. And with my children all on top of me, I was the first one out. But I'd always wake up. Whenever he gave all children, I'd wake up. It was like my neshama knew I needed to hear this, I needed to hear that. And then I woke up at the end to cake, and it was already like, who knows, 2 a.m. And then after everybody left after the cake, there was still like 10 people left. And Shlomo would take us to Agrippus, these steakhouses, greasy steakhouses. I don't know if they're still open all night long, but he would say that the Lamed Vav Tzadikim were in those steakhouses places. And it was only like the elite few, you know, would be up late, like 3 a.m. And we'd all go eat. Wow, what a privilege. Okay, so the next morning, I'd be a little bit sad, even though I did wake up for the cake in the Agrippus Lamed Vav Tzadikim scene. But what about all the Torah I missed? So we had them on tape. And that's what I did for I'm still doing it, for 25 years now, 30, yeah, I'm still doing it. And Ruven knows, because every night he goes to sleep and I'm still on the computer, and he said, Emuna, you're going to come down? I said, sure. Then I fall asleep at the computer. He said, Emuna, are you coming down? And I said, oh, good. He woke me up. Now I'm going to get one more line, dear. Just one more line. And so I feel like when Shlomo left the world, that he didn't leave the world. He left such treasures. He left his Torahs. He left his singing. He left all the stories. He left all the brachas for all our children. He gave a message of what we needed to do in the world. He gave us a message. So there are a lot of messages, and I'm a good wife. I read it all over, tell him over all the Torahs, over and over and over. And So Shlomo really, he really believed in us. He believed in us. And he gave over to us, and we have to give over to our children how we believe in them, and how much we love them, how much God loves them, how much God believes in them, that we can't do without them. We have to tell them every single day, every single night. Shlomo would say, mothers, he would talk a lot to mothers. He would say, you're putting your children to sleep and you want them to go to sleep already. And, go to sleep already. I've taken care of you all day long since 5 in the morning. I'm a little tired. Will you please go to sleep? And he'd say, but kids, their neshamas don't want to leave the world, because your neshama leaves the world a little bit when you go to sleep. And kids don't want to leave the world. They want to stay here with their parents, and so it's very hard for them to fall asleep. And Shlomo says, you don't let anybody cry, tell story after story, sing with them. So I'll tell you a secret. I found out only many years later that every night I did what Shlomo said. I sang, I told stories. So of course I'd fall asleep, and then they'd tiptoe out of the room and be up for hours later. I didn't know. No one told me. So, but that's what we have to tell each other all the time. Just even friends, best friends, all the time, whoever you meet. Someone would say, listen, you meet somebody, why are you meeting them? Because, you go on a 747, I don't know if that's 747, but whatever kind of plane you go on, you're not just going from one place to another. You're going to meet all the people away. You're going to meet every single person while you're waiting online, or this security check, that security check, and another security, whatever. But there are people that you're supposed to meet on the way. Wow. So Shlomo says that when you meet somebody just on the street, you don't just ask them, oh, the weather's really nice, how you. He said we have to talk to we have to share our neshamas. We have to share our neshamas. And we have to share the Mashiach Torahs that we're learning, what we learned last night, what we're in the middle of right this minute. We have to share it. We have to share it with each other, because that's why we're meeting and that's why we're here. I'll tell you, is there a God in the world? So I forgot, because it's televised, I forgot to say hello to Meta in Norway. No, Meta, in the old city a few years ago already, somebody said to me, Emuna, the of religion that's in the Carlebach shul in the old city, it was Simchas Torah. So of course I met her, we kept in touch all these years, so maybe right at this very moment she's listening to all these Torahs. So wow, and everybody comes from all over the entire world, from all over the world. They're coming, and we live in the Rova, we live in the center of the world, we live in the old city, which is like 4 minutes to the hotel, because I used to sometimes have to run to 5 o'clock bus. I timed it. You can do it in maybe 4.5 minutes, okay? And if you go through the shuk on the way out, even early in the morning, there are already groups coming from everywhere, Nigeria, from Russia, from China, everywhere, all over the world. They're mamish. And Ruvain sits outside in the square at any day or night. They're still coming. The groups are coming. All the time. I have to tell them the story. Forgive me also if I told you a million times. We're going to Chulda's Gate. Ruvain takes people to spiritual where you can go into the Beis HaMikdash. Like if you're at Chulda's Gate, it's a closed gate. But if you do a meditation, all of us were one Beis HaMikdash. It's inside. Everything that we've ever done and all the Gilgulim are still in our brains. And so we can access, am I telling it good? I'm doing good PR for you, okay? You can access that moment that you were in the Beis HaMikdash. I was so scared. I started going out with Reuven. I thought, he's going to take me to Chulda's Gate. What if I can't get in? But I did it. It was like a time tunnel. And we slid through, me and all my kids. We were there. So one time we're going with friends from New Jersey, okay? So if Avi and Rebecca are listening to, so we're saying on the way, let's go very slowly. You have to go with kavana every step of the way. This crazy thing, and all the goyim would come to the Beis HaMikdash too. But why is he telling this to these people from New Jersey? Okay, never mind. We get to Chulva's gate, and what's happening there? Did you hear the story before? There was a Chinese rock band rehearsing. They were rehearsing. They were so loud. We couldn't do a meditation. We couldn't get into the band. But we tried, but it was kind of hard. They were mamish rocking out. And then the security guy said, what are you doing here? There's going to be thousands of Chinese here right this minute. You better leave. You got to go. You got to leave. But thank you. Okay. 1,000. Oh, I forgot to turn it off. Who is this? 1 second. Michael, I'm teaching. Come here if you can. I'm teaching at Bilboa 18. I'm teaching. If you can come. If you can. But I got to hang up. If you can. Yeah. Oh, a minute. I can't do it without you. Thank you. Okay. I'm glad that I hadn't turned it off, but now I'll turn it off. Because Shlomo would say if he's singing in who knows where, Venezuela, and everybody's dancing, jumping up and down, but his own daughters aren't there with him, what's it all? Okay, so I'm so glad everyone's here, but if my Mechel could, okay, he forgot. I think I put it on. We have a Witt's WhatsApp, and this morning I put it on, but they don't all check their Witt's WhatsApp. Okay, 1 second, I'm just turning it off now. Okay, it was all for Mechel that I left the phone on. But like Reb Shlomo, that they saw that if even in the middle of teaching, he would answer just to give cover. Love you so much, but okay, call me back in a little while. And gave cover to everybody. Yeah, I'll let you. You're protexia here, okay.
No, we all know how great Reb Shlomo. So what did people don't realize, if you want to have to laugh, he had a New York City telephone booth in his living room. You know, those wooden booths, because they couldn't have a phone anymore. And somebody at the phone company.
And everybody used his phone.
So how many Rebbe's at New York City telephone booths in their living rooms?
Judy did that. Okay. You told us. Okay, Judy told everybody. Okay. So also Reb Shlomo said that gave us such a beautiful world. God gave us a beautiful world, beautiful Gan Eden. We kind of messed up a little bit. Went through all these parshiot now. Already we've gone through the Mabel, we've already gone through the Dora Flugga building the tower. We're all like, what is going on here? And then this past Shabbos, what's going on with all the people in the world? God gave us a beautiful world. So he would tell us that us Yidden, what do we have to do? It's like drinking coffee, and we have to put a lot of sugar on the bottom, not sugar, honey, silan, something really healthy. But we have it up. We have to mix it up because we have to make everything. We have to make it sweet. We have to make that boatsy coffee very, very sweet, very sweet. And if you don't drink coffee, I just found some barley, organic coffee, whatever you drink. Someone said, every month in the Zohar tells you what's the fixing of the month. Cheshvan is fragrance, and we should be mamish smelling Mashiach coming. It says that there's no yontif in Ram Cheshvan except that the Beis HaMikdash is supposed to come down, and we should initiate the third Beis HaMikdash in Cheshvan. And for us Chassidim, until that happens, so we have this yontif of Shlomo's yahrzeit. It's mamish yontif right now for us. And everybody, whoever goes to the kever, you will see that the cemetery has never after us. Chassidim have been there, everybody dancing and singing. Nobody else does that in the cemetery, but us Shlomo Chassidim. Okay.
That's our Hadra and Hezbollah.
Wow. So he said that we have to not only believe in God, we have to also believe in each other, and we have to believe that the world can be better. So we have to make choice. Like what we're doing with our lives every minute. Where should I be? What's my priority? Like exactly like with that watch. Why did I come into the world? I'm supposed to meet somebody at a certain time, certain place. Do it. And so every every moment we have to make decisions where to be. And then if we're somewhere and we realize we're not supposed to be there, to have the Azus to Kedusha, the Holy Chutzpah, to also leave, even in the middle, okay? Whatever we have to do, I'm blessing all of us. So I'm blessing all of us that even though we might not have that little watch that has the alarm, that we imagine that we do. So maybe we'll really hear it going off. Tell you, everybody gets a boss call in their lifetimes. 1, 2, I don't know, we can go around the room, but we won't do it. That everybody gets a little boss call that tells you, I'm supposed to do this right now, I'm supposed to marry. There's these boss calls, but how do we hear them? How do we hear that? We have to have like this, we have to have pure vessels inside, and we have to have this sinur. There's this big sinur from God's heart, if you can even say such a thing, to our heart, this big giant sinur. And all the shefa, everything is coming down, and this little baskol also comes down, but you have to hear it. You have to hear it with good ears. You have to have very, very good ears. Shlomo always quotes all the Hasidic Rebbe's that Noam Elyon, there's this beautiful light that comes down, Allah, before Yantif. Before Yantif comes, you have to hear everybody who's crying that needs what they need for Yantif. Mamish, if they need this for Yantif, that for Yantif, who's chayav and has a chrayas, obligation and responsibility to take care of everybody else. And if you don't hear everybody else, how is God going to hear you? How's God going to hear you? That there was this guy who had like a $1 billion to Russia, who knows what, importing, exporting, whatever, and he's on the way to this big meeting, big meeting. Somebody asked for tzedakah, but he's too busy. He's like, give tzedakah on the way. He's thinking about this $1 billion contract that he's got to sign. The other people have to agree, and it's like a whole. He's running mamish from one place to another and doesn't see anybody else. One person needs this, he's like totally oblivious. And then he gets to this meeting and no one's signing with him, and he's, oh my God, this $1 billion deal, what's going on, what's happening, he's not getting it. And so the story is that we have to hear all the God is saying. God is sending us people all the time. God is sending, like, everybody knows this story. I transcribed the story 1,000,000 times about Mr. Green. I probably told it 1,000,000 times. Mr. Green's writing a book on tzedakah. Doors the door, somebody knocks at the door. But he's too busy writing his book on tzedakah. He's not going to go to the door and ask, he's in the middle of writing his book. So I'll tell you, I'm transcribing this. And one time I'm so happy because I always had 2 kids at home, or maybe 3 babies at home. Finally, they're all sleeping. Yeah, they're all sleeping. And now I can transcribe a little bit. Because I didn't transcribe in a room off to the side of the house. Transcribe right in the middle of the living room, so I would know that all the children are taken care of and everyone's fed, and I didn't hide, and I was right there. And okay, sleeping. And now I can transcribe. And then there's a knock on the door. There's a knock on the door, but I really want to transcribe. But how can I transcribe Shlomo, I'm transcribing in the middle of Mr. Story? I better answer the door. So this Torah I definitely have told 1,000,000 times, but we forget it. So I'll remind you also. I'll remind you so that, wow. Say you wake up very early in the morning. Okay, wait, Shlomo says, from the beginning, I'm saying that every month has a different fixing. And Tavis is anger. But he said, why wait for Tavis? Every single day of our lives, we have to fix anger. All the time, we have to fix anger. All the time. God's testing us. You know, in the morning when you make brachas, you say, God, please don't test me so much. Don't, please, I don't need. But we get tested every moment of our lives. Anyway, we're getting tested. So in the morning you wake up very early, you have to take care of the husbands, the kids, and the neighbors, and this mitzvah and that mitzvah, and now with WhatsApp and all the messages and SMSs, this one's asking this and this one's asking that, and how do I get to the kever and all day long I gotta do something else, but everyone gets to the kever, and you can really get mashukah. Okay, so by 10 o'clock, you want to take a little break, and you say, okay, God, please lock the door, please let me, please, 10 o'clock, did I do enough mitzvahs today? Did I do enough mitzvahs? And also, so, there's a knock on the door. There's a knock on the door, and, wow, so Shlomo, this is mamish l'maseh. He says that if you can do one more mitzvah when you are so tired and you could hardly even mamish get to the door, and you're so exhausted, and not only do you really get yourself up and go to the door, but you do it at the door. Oh, thanks for coming to visit me. What can I do for you? And I'll tell you a million times it happens. Somebody wanted coffee, but not one cup of coffee, a whole thermos of coffee. But that person wanted coffee. They just wanted someone to listen to them. So whenever I tell over the story, I also ask Mechila from Reb David, this Reb David Pan, because the last time I saw him, he came and I wanted to give him to drink and I wanted to give him to eat, have some tea, eat some. He only wanted to pour out his heart. He only wanted me to sit. And sometimes, you don't have patience. I don't want to sit. Sometimes you'd rather feed and give a person food and drink than just listen. That was the last time I saw him. That was the last time. So a mechila, mamash a mechila. And so I'm blessing all of us. And when God gives us mitzvahs to do, so we have to think really twice about not doing it, because maybe this is us. So I didn't finish the story. The story, doing that mitzvah when you're so tired and you don't have kayach and you do it b'simcha, is that God puts that mitzvah then in a bank. There's a special bank. There's a special bank. And forgive me, I know I've told it a million times. There's a special bank of all mitzvahs that we do when we're so tired and we don't have koyach, and we still do it b'simcha. And then, God forbid, if we ever get angry, God forbid no one ever gets angry, but even 10 years from now, if we mamish maybe get angry, but sometimes a person can get so angry that nothing anybody does can help. Like, you could really lose it. You could lose it. We're all human. We could lose it. Maybe we're freaking out and everybody's trying to calm us down and nothing helps. But if you have mitzvahs in that bank, you're okay. God himself will take you out of the anger. Tell you, when you have a choice, should I do this mitzvah or not? You want to have some mitzvahs in the bank. You want to really have some of those mitzvahs in the bank. So God forbid none of us should get angry, but God will take us out. God will take us out of that anger. Wow, wow, wow. And I'm blessing all my children everywhere and everybody else's children, grandchildren, everybody. That everyone should have shalom bayis. Everyone should have everything they need, all the parnasa, all the simcha, everything they need, healthy children. But the most important thing is that shalom bayis with people. Okay, so we just, husbands, you have to know, and all people who haven't been married yet or are on the way or need to your wife. That's what they told Avram. Listen to Sarah. Okay, it says, a happy life is a happy wife. To your wives. Okay, so I'll tell you something. Okay, so I'm going to tell you something else. Okay, when we saw these tons of Chinese coming to Chulda's gate, I said, wow, Reuven was right. All the Goyim are coming, all the holy Goyim that love Israel. We better get out of here. We really ran out of that place right away. But I'll tell you something that, wow. Delia, who's Chinese, and she's Lily and Richie's friend, and she came to our Brit Milah of a grandson in Kfar Chabad with Rav Ginsburg. This is totally I met Odelia at at the bris of my grandson. And we connected, and then we got invited here and there, and I said to Ruvain, okay, the dream of my life is to give over Reb Shlomo Torah to Chinese. So Adelia came here, and she liked my class. She came again with two friends who had just come from China. They didn't know any English. She translated Reb Shlomo Torah into Chinese. It was one of the highest moments of my whole life. And then they started singing Tehillim in Chinese. Reb Shlomo got a little bit nervous, like, what are they singing, Emuna? What are they singing? I said, no, it's Tehillim. And then someone from Baltimore started to cry. She said, this is what it's all about, all of us all over the world singing one song. In different languages maybe, but singing one song. And so that was really a very high moment to be giving over Reb Shlomo Torahs in Chinese. And then, so I kept this dream in the back of my mind that, okay, but I didn't really do too much hishtadlus, too much to do about it because I don't know how to find the Chinese, and Wendy was in America anyway. So then they were having a conference. With the Chinese. Yehudi cats played music. This is really something else. I said, okay, I want to talk. But whatever, they didn't have so much time for me to talk. But that day that I got this invitation to go to this conference with the Chinese, they were even having a kosher Chinese meal in a sukkah. This was wild. I go out the door, and there's this Odelia who I hadn't seen in months and months and months and months. And I said, I got the invitation to come to the conference. Can I talk? A little asas to Kedusha. So I'm always saying, when you want to do something, you have holy chutzpah. So can I talk? So she says, I'm going to take care of this. I'll tell you, Erev Sukkot, she calls me up and she said, we're going to give you like 20 minutes and we're going to translate Sunday of Chol HaMoed. Wow. And bring all your family, bring all your grandchildren. I said, oh, you don't want all the grandchildren, but okay. And she said, call up we want Jewish people to come. I'll tell you, I took a lot of notes of what I'm going to say, but none of what I'm telling you is on the notes. So I took a lot of notes of what I was going to say also to the Chinese. I'll tell you, I'm supposed to speak after they pray. Like, I was a little bit nervous also. What are they going to pray? They were unbelievable. You think Shlomo Hasidim know how to dance and sing? We're put to shame. These Chinese were singing Ad Leva Shemayim. They were jumping and they were singing and dancing. They were mamish singing about Eretz Israel and loving us Yidden. The reason why they wanted me to bring Jews, all the Chinese ladies, just the ladies, it was very. They kissed and hugged every single one of us Jewish ladies and all the grandchildren that I brought, a few of them, just a few. They were kissing and hugging us and telling us, we're your friends. We love you. We love Israel. And there's one God in the world. And it was unbelievable. It was just unbelievable because there's a lot of Chinese out there. So I thought, wow, we really have friends. And then they started to dance. You think we know how to dance? They were mamish dancing up to heaven. Oh, and they were dancing and singing and blessing and praying. And so, oh no, what happened to my 20 minutes? I didn't say a word. And then they said, Emuna, if you want to talk, you better talk right now. So I had all my notes on a table, but they had pushed the table away to make room for the dancing. And I said, okay, God, please be with me, okay? And they gave me a microphone. And I remembered how Shlomo one time, Erev Yantif, Rosh Hashanah, he didn't come to the Moshe often for Rosh Hashanah, but I remember one, because he was usually in his shul, but one Rosh Hashanah he was in Modi'in. And before we could even daven, he said, okay, everybody has to bless each other. An hour. Every single person was blessing another person. It was unbelievable. But that wasn't good enough. He said, gates are still not open. We got to dance to the gates of the Moshav. Open the gates. And then maybe dancing to the gates, we danced back. Finally, daven. So I told this story to the Chinese. And so they loved it. I really don't even remember what I told them. I don't remember anything I told them. All I know is that we were all flying. I had them laugh and cry. And the next day, Wendy, I saw Odelia again. It was Odelia Wendy, but now it's just, I think, Odelia. And you Chinese, you know how to sing, you know how to bless, you know how to dance. And do you know, so she says, are we Jewish already? I said, no, you're Shlomo Hasidim. And she loved that, she loved it, she loved it, she loved it. So I invited them here, but I don't think they came yet, okay. So maybe at your car tonight they'll come, you never know. At the camera, you just never know. Anyway, they taught me they said, what Chinese word do you want to know? And I said, shalom. And so they said it's pingan. And I don't know if I say it right, but I met some Chinese at the hotel. And, I don't know really who's Chinese. Maybe they're Korean. I said, I go up to these people. I say, you Chinese? Chinese. I said, and they laughed and they said they knew it. They knew it. Okay, so it was great. It was really great. So I'm blessing us that whoever we meet, we have to just make the world a little bit better, just a little bit better, because it said the world is built on chesed. Any little chesed that we do, any tiny little chesed that we do, we have no idea how it's much. How would other people, who knows, maybe all the way in China. I'll tell you, Shlomo would say, listen, sorry, the most outrageous thing in the world, a 90-year-old woman having a baby, says that she became like 25. So Shlomo said it opened up all the gates in the world for everybody who needs a baby. So whatever we do in our lifetimes, we open up the gates. We open up the gates for whoever else needs it. And Sophia, that was very far out because I never go that way. I usually go another way. Because I went that way, I met you in the morning. And it's always matanot. It's matanot when you meet somebody on the way. What a gift, what a gift. I'll tell you, lots of times I'm like making deals with God. If I do this, will you do this for me? Will you? But on Shabbos, we can't be, have to be mamish, like really keep it together, be a little ruchnius. Said, okay, God, I'm walking from one place to another on Shabbos. I'm not asking you for anything. Just let me meet somebody on the way. And it happens. Such a matana. So I won't tell you which kid. It happened to one of my kids. I hope they don't listen to this anyway, but they won't. I didn't say any names. Okay, they have to meet somebody very, very important, and they have to meet somebody. They have to call on the phone. The other person's battery ran out, and what do? It's out, and you're, oh no, how am I ever going to meet this person again? That watch at the right time, the right place. What am I going to do? My kid goes on the train. There's the person he's supposed to meet. Is a God in the world. There's a God in the world. Little tiny things. Sometimes we need big yeshuot. We need big help. Big help. So I'm telling you, when do you really learn? When do you learn how to pray? So I'll tell you, when somebody is really, really in trouble, when somebody is, God forbid, really, really sick, then you just really, you learn how to pray just a little bit. We all were davening. We're all davening for each other all the time. Wow, we were all davening for Reb Shlomo. We were all davening. I'll tell you that on Sukkot. So I have the privilege of churva. All I have to do is just roll over and I'm right there. I mean, literally, on Sukkot, we're sleeping in our sukkah, which is mamish on the street. And we were also very privileged. Every year we would have a sukkah right near our house facing the broad wall. But then someone walked past our sukkah one year and said to his kid, this father and someone walked past our sukkah and they said to the kid, now this is exactly what a not kosher sukkah is. It's under a tree. So we had to move our sukkah. We didn't have the view of the broad wall anyway. We tell everybody that we live right next to the broad wall, but we tell them we're off the wall. But now our sukkah couldn't be off the wall. We had to move it a little bit. But a miracle also happened. All these kids to help us. They finally come. They said, okay, we've got 1 hour to do it. 1 hour to build. A miracle happened in 1 hour. They got that sukkah up. And it was bigger than it ever was before. The same wood, the same pole. I don't know how they did it. You see, God makes miracles all the time. So that sukkah was up. And for many years, I heard this beautiful singing up in the chuppah. And it was Hallel. But I didn't realize that I could be up there. I didn't have to just hear it from I could mamish be there. And the women all the way up to the balcony, which is outside. And the men go downstairs to the sukkah, and we can all sing. The men can't hear us, but we hear them really good and so clear. It's unbelievable. And every Hallel, every day of Sukkot. So somebody was in trouble, and I davened that single day. And then someone told me also, God forbid, no one should ever be sick. No one should ever be sick. But if somebody is sick, they should hold on to this Torah too. And I also don't know where the source is. And I'm sure that it was Reb Shlomo who had given it over to my friend who told it to me. They said, if you, God forbid, you're sick, get a bracha from somebody who's angry. Oh my God, now I have to go look for somebody who's angry. Because, I had this, I had this issue that I had we should all just be well. So right after someone tells me this Torah, I get a phone call, and the person's having a fight. The person is having a fight. I said, okay, I'm going to tell them. I'm going to tell them that I need a bracha right then and there. I said, listen, I've had a stomach ache for 2 years. Just give me a bracha. That person thought that they were giving me a stomach ache. They weren't giving me the stomach ache. I needed a bracha. I needed a bracha. So I got it. So I'll tell you, in every situation, we should be able to get the bracha so that's coming down. So it says also that if someone would say 95% of the time, we maybe don't have to get angry. Rabbi Nachman brings it down from Rabbi Nachman. Maybe 5% of the time we do have to get angry. Maybe we do. So also, God, please bless us that we know which is the 95% that we can let it all go, and which is the 5% to know when we. And wow. And if we get angry and then not supposed to get angry, then God takes us out of it. Okay. But this thing from Rabbi Nachman, it says that if you can get angry at a person that you really need to get angry at, you can fix them that very moment. How do we do that? If you get angry at somebody that you need to get angry at, you could fix their neshama. Whoa. So I bless us that if there's somebody that, who knows, 5%, that we were able to really fix their neshama in that moment. Shlomo also says this, that if, say, angry, and you don't, you hold back, you breathe 10 to the count of 10. You're holding your breath like a yogi, and then you let it all out, and you're not going to get angry. So it does something to all the people in the world that are almost getting angry, and when you fix it for yourself, your mamash are fixing it for them. You're helping them fix it. Your mamash helping them. So I bless us that whatever we're doing, we're not just doing it for us, we're doing it for whoever else is in the same situation that needs a little help, a little push, a little zest, whatever it is, we're mamash helping them. And it says that not only are we praying and God is listening, really God himself is praying for us. And so when we have to, God is davening for us. Like when we're praying, sometimes we don't even know what to pray for. And we have to, mamish, again, have those vessels, pure vessels, get that bat kol and get what God, mamish, pray for us, that we can pray a little bit, okay? Wow, 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 wow. Wow, so we all take care of each other on a million different levels, on a ruchnius level, on a helping each other, whatever we're trying to fix in the world, and also on a gashmius level. I hear Reb Shalom telling me also that, that this yeshiva was mamish and is used to be, and thank you, Judy. You're doing it. Shlomo always wanted a little yeshiva in the middle of Yerushalayim. And he went to a place of the millionaires and no one was helping him. They'd say, Shlomo, don't call us, we'll call you. And they didn't call back. And one time he said somebody loved his Torah so much, he gave him a lot of money. He calls him tomorrow and doesn't even remember who he is. He says, Shlomo, who are you? And I say, so, but here you guys are doing it. Your mom is doing it. That we must have a little place in the middle of your home to mamish have a little yeshiva and a little base medrash a few blocks away, and so ever also wants to open their hearts and open their pockets and make donations, so it keeps going. Okay, I got that down from heaven. You like that? I got it down from heaven. It came down from heaven. So, okay, there's one last thing also, that we're doing one more kol chevra. I was never ever going to do another kol chevra. Oh my, it takes so long, but okay, so we're doing it for Reb Shalom, we're doing it for Brucha, also from the Moshe. We're mamish putting it together, so we have one more week if you want to send in an article, and we need big page ads, because this past year I didn't have enough money to print. We went on, and I don't know who from Amazon, I don't know about that Amazon, but we ordered a few copies and they're all gone from last year. They're all gone, so we want to make a lot of copies. So yeah, so we can give them away. Mamish, we could share them and tell them and do whatever we need to do. So, okay, so I'm putting that out in the world because I always forget. I talk for an hour and then I forget to say that, please. Okay, so one more week. You can get my email on WhatsApp and I'm on Facebook, okay, and the yeshiva. Okay, so whoever wants to make, put in ads, it should all be mazel tovs, only mazel tovs and articles. And so the theme is simcha and geula and riach and chesed. Okay, should I end it with one? Do I have one more matter? Two more? Okay, I'll tell you just one more story. The last ein v'chesed. So Shlomo and Eli Chaim were related to America. They had, I think, their bar mitzvah on the way, and forgot exactly where, but then they were in America. Baba Rebbe Mamish also made it to America. The Baba Rebbe did stories and said 127 times killed, but he was saved, like sorry, made 100, and he saved hundreds, thousands of movies. He hid them underneath his jackets, and he mamish, like there were these coal trucks. He had hundreds and hundreds of yidden underneath all the coals and shipped them out, and he did a million. And a lot of his kids didn't make it. One kid made it, and they were making a wedding. They were going to make a wedding. And it was such a big simcha. Thousands of people were coming, and Shlomo and his twin brother there. And the Rebbe wanted to give a bracha to every single person. But how can you do that for, 1,000 people? So he only could say, each and every single person, chen v'chesed. Chen v'chesed. So chen, you can't even translate it, Noach had chen in God's eyes. Chen is grace, favor, sweetness. Chen is it's beautiful. Chen. And chesed, we all mamish, so it kept Shlomo and Eli Chaim going mamish, that chen v'chesed bracha. So it gives brachas to each other all the time. Mamish give brachas to each other all the time. And the Baba of Rebbe at another time, mamish told them good Shabbos. And Shlomo said also that good Shabbos gave him. And he said every Mashiach, every Shabbos has to be some earth that is for mamish all to come. It has to be mamish every Shabbos a good Shabbos. So the world only continues. We just Wednesday we shift gears. We're already into the coming Shabbos. So I bless us all that Shabbos is what keeps us going. Shabbos is what keeps us going. And okay, the last thing, I can't help myself. Last thing. The last thing is that when we came to the Moshav, all young couples with millions of babies, and we didn't know how to cook, know how to bake then. I learned how, but I didn't then. And Shlomo was doing concerts all over the world and sending them, of course, to everybody in Modi'in. Everybody in Modi'in said, go to Modi'in. So we had powwows every week with Shlomo, okay, a powwow. Oh, we can't do it. Okay, we're like 20 years old and 21, okay, whatever, and we have kids already, and we mamish can't do it. We don't know how to cook for all those people, and they're crazy. The people are crazy. You're not just sending us people, you're sending us crazy people. And Shlomo said to us, he always agreed with us and heard us. No. He said the whole world is mamish a hospital. And Shabbos is the refuah. Shabbos is going to heal everybody. And he continued to send everybody, even the crazy people. And we learned how to cook, and we learned how to bake, and we learned how to all of us be therapists, but actually not therapists. Because he would tell us all the time, we don't need therapists, we just need best friends that love us. So we learned how to be best friends. We want to be best friends. So that is really the biggest message. If you forget everything I said up until now, we should just all be best friends forever and take care of each other. Thank you for that.
Amen.
Thank you. Okay, that's okay. Here's the
Amen.